Hey y'all, how are you doing today so far? So this is our second tutorial now for the Craftology kit for Country Craft Creations, and you can get your kit at countrycraftcreations.com. Now, you're going to need a piece of paper that will be cut at 5.5 by 8.5. So, and I will have a diagram on the Country Craft Creations that will show you where your score lines are and where to cut. I am going to show you on the video how to do this, but just in case you need a diagram, this may make it simpler and easier for you to understand. So, you're going to need a 12 by 12 sheet from your kit, and I decided to use this one because I love this. I call it like a bedding floral print or wallpaper. I love it. Okay, so this is going to be really super easy. It may seem difficult, but if you look at your diagram, it may be a lot easier for you to understand. So we are going to score at 5.5. We're going to turn the paper counterclockwise, and you're going to score it at 8.5. Okay. And then you're going to get out your cutting board. Okay. And then you are going to turn it back, and you're going to cut on that line that is the 5.5-inch line, and you're going to cut all the way down. I'm going to scoop mine over just a little bit because I don't want any of that indentation on my paper. So I'm going to cut down, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut off the, I'm sorry, this was the 5.5. This is the 8.5. Okay. And I'm going to move it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to cut that off. Okay. So you should have this little amount of paper left. Okay. Now with this tiny little piece, and this is not like super important, but I want you to go ahead and cut off a 1/2 inch. I mean, it is important, but I mean, to use for, it's just a scrap, but we're going to need it. Okay. So basically do it longwise. Okay. And so you're going to have a strip like that. Okay. Now you can put this to the side because you're not going to need this anymore. And we are going to go back to our scoreboard. Well, actually, whoops, no. Before I do that, I apologize. You know this would not be right unless I mess this video up. Right? Okay, so now we have our cutting board, and you see where it says 2 inches up here at the top? We're going to slide our paper over to the 2-inch line, okay? Now, actually, I'm going to flip this around. Sorry, I apologize. For me, it's easier to see the numbers if I do that. Or, you know what? I'm sorry. Better yet. Am I confusing y'all enough? I so apologize. Go back to the 2 inches, but instead of sliding it down here, you're going to slide it up. I don't know why I didn't think about that at the moment. Okay. So, on here, you're going to see, and I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to see if I can do this with a white piece of paper. Okay, you are going to see that there are numbers on here, okay? So I'm going to line this up again at 2 inches over here on this side. Let me zoom back out just a tiny bit so you can see that it's on the 2-inch line. See? Okay, and I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to zoom back up. I'm going to go down a little bit. Now, oops, it keeps moving. You definitely don't want that to happen. Okay. So you're going to take your cutter, and you'll see where this little line is at. You're going to line that up with 2 1/8 inches. So that is 2 dots or 2 little lines underneath the 2. And that's the best way to explain that. Okay, and I'm going to put this up just a tiny bit so I can make sure I'm on the right line, and I am. Okay, and then you're going to cut down to 7 5/8, which is basically 2 lines right after the 7.5. Okay, so you can see how I'm doing this. There's my 1/2 inch and 1, 2. So that should be right. Then you're going to take it, so it's going to look like this. Okay. Now you're going to get out your scoreboard. Okay. And with the cut 2-inch side, you're going to have it on this end of your scoreboard. Okay. Now, so remember, your cut end is down at the bottom facing you. Okay. You're going to get out your little thing. Now, you're going to score only most of these scores, except for one. Actually, let's just go ahead. At 4 1/4, score all the way through. Now, on the rest of the other ones, you're only going to score up to the cut line. Okay. So at 2 1/8, you are going to score to that cut line. Okay. Then at 4 1/4, you go all the way through. Then 5 1/2 is only to the cut line. Okay. Then at 6 3/4, only to the cut line. And then your last one, 7 5/8, which is one line. I'm sorry, under this one, it's one line under this. I mean, next to this, right after the 7. Oops. Wait. Sorry, no, it's not. Apologize. After the 7 1/2. Okay. And so remember, 2 1/8, 4 1/4 all the way through, 5 1/2, 6 3/4, and 7 5/8, and that is it. Now, you can, and I'm sorry, it's so dark in here, but unfortunately it is rainy again here in Texas, so we are going to fold down the first. You're not going to fold anything over on this side, okay? Just down here. So you're going to fold down and you're going to do like your accordion, okay? So this one, the first one is up. Second one is down. Third one is up. Fourth one is down. And then the last one is up. Okay. And then this one in the center, you can fold over. So it's going to look something like this. So now we can burnish in our folds. Okay. Then there's one more thing I want you to do. And I apologize, but this lady was brilliant when she came up with this idea, because when you add on a lot of layers, okay, it adds weight onto the card, and then it begins going like this, you know, and you don't want it to be spread all the way out, you know. So this is where that little extra strip comes in, okay, and we're going to get out our 1/8 inch score tape, okay, and we're going to flip it over, okay. Wait a second, we want people to see this in case they do see it. Yeah, so you're going to, I'm sorry, put it on this side, okay, and if I even know how to, no, maybe not, let me see. Yes, that's right. You're going to put it on this side. I apologize. How many times do I have to apologize? I don't know. A million times. Sorry. Okay. So now you will cut some of this off, so it's okay. You're going to, right here, do it on the inside of the card and burnish it in real good. Because I feel like I didn't put enough tape on there. I'm actually going to use my glue gun and just do just a little dab of glue. Okay. And then I want you to, you're going to fold it in. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Actually, I'm going to do it straight. Burnish my edge there. And then you're going to fold it till you get to about to the next one. So actually you can cut it a little bit at this point where you have just a little bit of overhang over the card, right? And you're going to bend it, just kind of guesstimate, okay? And then go ahead and bend it. And I have like a glue string stuck on my finger. So I'm going to go ahead and do another dab of glue, or you use your tape, either one, okay? And then you're going to do this. Now, just like what the lady said in the video, and I wish I remembered her name, she said, now, you want to still mail this, right? So, you're going to push it down and then fold it. See? So now, it's going to be able to stand straight. This is going to help with that, where it's going to stand up straight. Isn't it cute so far? I'm loving it. Okay, so, I think mine needs just a little bit of a pinch here. No, I did it right. I don't know what the dealio is. No, it's right. It's just me. Okay, so now I'm going to try to find, and if you use your sprays, you can use a little sponge. If you have gotten the second kit, you can, you know what? You could use a little sponge and then distress it. Spray it on the sponge and then distress it. I'm going to go ahead and use the Tim Holtz. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. I can put this to the side now. And I'm going to go ahead. Ooh, that's the wrong one. What the? I know y'all are giving me what planet are you on this morning? I really have no earthly idea. Also know, ever since daylight savings, I have not been with it. So now I'm going to go ahead and ink my edges, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing here. Just kind of be gentle because I don't want to like mess up my folds going on here. Okay. And then I'm going to ink my edges here. And along the edge. Almost done. Okay. Done with that, so I can put this up. Okay, now, ta-da! You should have a bag of yumminess, and it's not going to be all jumbled up and messed up like mine. I'm sorry, I pulled it out, and then I just didn't, you know, put it back all nice and pretty. So I'm thinking that I want to do like a little skirt. I'm really liking that. Thinking. Or I could use some more of my gold. Or I could do both. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So you can either use your glue gun or your score tape. And you're going to, I'm going to use my glue gun just a tiny bit, and I'm going to fold this in just a little bit because that little clipped edge will drive me nuts. So now it'll kind of look like this, where it like skirts out, okay? And then I'm going to not guesstimate, let me see here. Let me measure this. It's going to be about 7 1/4 inches, okay? With including your little fold over that you're going to do. So I'm going to cut that. And again, this one, actually I did a little too much. Let me cut off just a little bit more. Probably like 7 inches. I apologize. That may be a little bit easier. Okay. So I'm going to press this down like this because it's just easier for me to work with it this way. I'm going to get out my score tape again. Okay, and you have two choices. Either you can add your score tape on the back of this, or you can do it on here. And I'm going to go ahead and do it on here. And I know that this pretty much takes up this whole thing, so I'm going to go ahead and do about 3 lines. Burnish in my edges and cut off, put it upside down so I can cut off any of my little endings here. And if you have any overhang, just, fold them over back onto the card. Okay. I'm going to get my ribbon and I'm going to go up just a little bit. Oops, I didn't do it far over enough. Let me make sure I did. Yeah, now that's about right. Okay. So now it's going to look something like this. Now I still have a little bit of an overhang. So again, I'm going to do the same thing with my glue gun. And I'm going to fold that under, kind of roll it under, and I'm trying not to burn my fingers, and I am. Okay. And mine's a little bit tiny crooked here. Now that I'm pulling it up. And this is the great thing about using score tape with ribbon, is I can readjust it fairly easily. Okay. Now that I have it where I want it, now I can burnish in my ribbon. Okay. Now it's not going to move. Okay. Now there's one more thing I want to do. I said I wanted to add some trim right here. Okay. So I am going to line it up here. And we know that our card, if you measure it up on your scoreboard, it is 5.5 inches across. Okay. So we knew that. Okay. So you can go ahead and cut your ribbon at 5.5 inches because this one is going to be pretty accurate. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off any little weird things. Well, I'm going to do this a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and get out my score tape, and I'm going to go right in between here. Okay. And I'm going to burnish it in. Cut off any excess. Okay. I'm going to just lift it up with my finger. And then I'm going to grab my little beautiful gold ribbon and line it up to the edge and place it down. Now I can easily clip off my excess here. Get this one out of my way here. Okay, one, and here is the other. Perfect. Now look at what we got. Let me zoom in a little bit because my lighting stinks in here. Let me see what's up with this. Maybe I can fix the exposure here a little bit. Is that better? I'm sorry if I had known that. Okay. Sometimes with my lighting in here, it's like way too bright and it's crazy. So now we have kind of like our little skirt, and I'm really liking this. I think it's really cute, and it's okay because it will still, stand up. It's not a problem because it will kind of like just bend over. So at this point, I'm going to make a small bow And I'm thinking, well, before I do that, hold on one second. I'm going to grab some of my little pop outs. Hold on. Okay, so this is what I've decided to use. I decided to use Mom, You Are the Best, and also one of these little note cards. And what I'm going to do, actually, I did it on the wrong end. So you're going to take a pop dot and you're going to, because you want the flower to show at the top, you're going to go ahead and put it up about 1/4 of an inch in the center, okay? And then this one, you can go ahead and on your back stair, you're going to go ahead and kind of center it there and just press lightly, okay? And I went ahead and distressed around the edges first with my Tim Holtz tea dye stain. And then I went ahead and used my Tim Holtz little distresser. I love this to rough up the edges. And then, so remember how I said you were going to have some paper left over and you weren't going to need it for this project? I lied. Okay, so there was one piece that was basically, yeah, I think it was more like this. Now that I've roughed up my edges, it doesn't really go anymore. But anyway, so I cut it at 3 1/4 inches, okay? And so you're going to take another pop dot if you have one. If not, you can just, use your glue gun in all honesty, okay? Make a dot, let it dry, okay? And then make another one, another dot, and then there you go. And then lay on your, center your thing. But I'm going to go ahead and use a pop dot because I'm a pop dot nut. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and center it. Now this one, I'm not going to put it on a pop dot to place it on here. It's already balanced out enough. But basically, oh, I didn't even think about this. If you want to write a note on here, you may not want to, you may want to kind of go down lower when you're putting your Mom, You Were the Best. But for me, I'm not going to write my note on there. I'm going to write it on a separate thing. I just kind of really liked it. At least I was thinking about doing it at first. You can still do it, but you definitely want to write the note before you put it on here because you have the pop dot and it's going to be uneven. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see in here, there's about if you go up about 1 1/8 inch, it should be about the right height. And I'm going to go ahead and center it from here to here. So let me get out my score tape and I'm going to do it. Put a couple little strips here. Okay. And burnishing my edges. And peel off the backing. And again, I'm about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to 1/8 an inch from the bottom. I'm going to leave that much of a gap, a space. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put down my card. And it's looking so cute. So now it should look something like this. Okay, so I think it's looking real pretty. So now I'm going to show you in just a second how I make bows. Okay, I'm back. So I decided that I want to save my flowers for the next project that I'm going to do with this because this month we're having 3 projects. And so I went ahead and I made my own flowers using my leftover paper that I have from the 12 by 12. And these are called peonies. And this is the Spellbinders S as in Sam S2-165, and this is the Spellbinders Die Delights, okay? And I happen to purchase those at Joann's. Let me get some more lighting in here. I apologize. Okay, so I went ahead and I made these, and then I added in like another little fake pearl inside of them. And I'm going to put this back in my little baggie so I can save it for the next portion of our project. I went ahead and decided that I wanted to put this on a pop dot. And I'm thinking I want it right about here on my card. Okay, and I kind of want to add a diagonal where it says precious. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Okay. So now your card should look something like this so far. Okay. Or how you don't have to follow along with the tutorial. You could be doing anything with your own card right now. Okay, so I went ahead and I made some leaves too. And these were the leaves from the pop-outs. And I used a light green, and then I went ahead and sprayed a green shimmer underneath. And I think also you could paint on the pearl shimmer too. So I'm thinking about where I want to place these. And yeah, I think it's going to be something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and place my first one. And then place my second one right up above, kind of like adjacent. You could even, squish them more together. I've got so many strings, it's making me insane. Okay. Then I'm going to take my leaves, and I've already kind of shaped them. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back here, and I'm just going to kind of place it in there, right behind my first flower and in between the two. And I'm not really liking that, so I'm actually going to glue the two flowers together. So, and now I've got string galore here going on. Okay. That's all right. Once the project's done, I can get them all off. Then I want another one coming out right about there. Okay. I'm debating on whether I want another one. I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'll do one more, and it'll be kind of hanging off there at the edge. These strings. I know you all can just hear my frustration. Okay, so I want it to look a little bit 3D, so I'm going to go ahead and on the back of my little flower, without burning myself, I'm going to leave. I'm going to put a little dot of glue and then pinch it a little bit to give it a bubble effect. And I know my big old thumbs aren't helping. Okay. Yeah. My big old thumbs aren't helping at all. Guess I'm going to have to put some actually on the card. Okay. Now, this little tweezer thing is perfect for getting all the glue off on all the strings off and out of here. Tweezers are the bomb diggity in most of these projects. So now your card's going to look something like this. If you want to, you can add some more pearls in here, or you can add your bling in here. She did send us some bling, but I'm going to use it on the next project. But yeah, so like you could put this in here, or you could do it over here. It's just that when you use heavy bling like this, I've noticed that it really puts a lot of, unnecessary weight on the card. And so it will start going, out and, starting to flatten out with the more weight that you put on there. So I just suggest doing the, little, things. Oh, I forgot I did do this. Okay, so she sent us a little circle belt buckle, which I've already glued on a little ribbon that I made. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and place that. This belt buckle is really lightweight, so I'm going to go ahead and place it. Let me just take off a little bit more off my bow. And I'm going to put a little glue on the back. Okay. And put it over here on the corner. And like I said, this one, and fluff up my bow here. This one is so lightweight that it's not going to really add a whole lot of additional weight like the bling will. So, you have some options. You can either, like I said, add more pearls. And the little plastic ones are perfect because they're not heavy at all. Okay. Or you can add in some little Swarovski stones, whatever you want to do. Or just little of the gem stickers. Those are always great too. Anyway, I hope you all really like this tutorial. If y'all have any suggestions of what you would like to see next month, please let me know. You can visit us at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook. And message me there, and I'll be happy to answer it. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous crafty day. Bye, y'all.